It's about training every other part of your life, whether it's your relationships with friends or family, whether it's your body, whether it's the hobbies and the passions you can lose yourself in, so that by the time your heart's ready to go again, so to speak, everything else is already firing on all cylinders.
How can I handle jealousy and feelings of revenge after seeing my ex, the person who ditched me, become married to someone else? I'm not usually the jealous type. Well, you see, one of our greatest fears, in fact, our greatest fear is to be rejected, to be replaced, and you're with someone, you're planning a life, and they ditch you, and they marry someone else, and you feel completely replaced. And we all hate to think that we're replaceable. That's a horrible feeling. I've been replaced. It's the same as being fired. Someone's replaced me, and if they've replaced me, I don't matter. I'm not significant. So you need to take a look at this and realize that that was not your person. You may have thought it was, but it isn't. You see, what we all want is to find someone that loves us and is deeply loved by us. A relationship is a two-way thing. You may believe he was your person, but he decided you were not his person, and that's sad, I know. I was dumped by what was the love of my life. It was immensely painful. But now I'm married to someone I love deeply. I'm still in touch with him. I look at his pictures of him and his wife, and I don't feel any jealousy because he found someone, and he freed me to find someone. If I hadn't found the husband I'm with now, I would never have my amazing career. And that doesn't mean the other person isn't great. I wasn't right for him. He might have been right for me. He probably wasn't actually, but I was not right for him. And so he's gone, he's moved on, he's found someone else. You have to decide, I'm glad he's gone. He wasn't my person. If I wasn't his person, he couldn't be my person. I will not miss someone who does not miss me. Do not waste your energy missing someone that isn't missing you, thinking about someone who is not thinking about you. There are so many people in the world that you can love. And I want you to list all the qualities he loved about you, because I promise you, when he packed his bags and left, he did not pack those qualities and take them with him. When he rang you and I love you because, and you're great because, and what I love about you is, and I just love you, everything he loved in you is still there. And the next person you meet will see those same qualities and love you even more. So decide that he was your starter relationship. You know, we get a starter home. My first home was a studio. I loved it. It was amazing. And then I grew out of it. Then I got a 2-bed apartment. Eventually I got my amazing house, but I kind of had to upgrade. And sometimes we have a starter relationship. I was with this person, thought it was great, I learned a lot, but we kind of ran out of road. It kind of finished because it was just the starter relationship that taught me about me. You don't even know if this person's marriage is going to work out. You need to empty your mind of him and fill up your mind with your life, your person. He loved you once, so you are deeply lovable. Sometimes things just don't work. They reach a natural conclusion. And maybe if he'd stayed with you, you might have got really bored with him. He just got in first by ending it. That doesn't mean that you would not have decided down the line to end it. And as for revenge, the only revenge you need is to be blissfully happy. Stop putting energy into revenge and looking at his pictures and working out what's going on. Put the energy into finding someone new. There are thousands of guys that would want to be with you because he did once. Put your energy into finding someone new, success, being happy, living a beautiful life. That is the only revenge you ever need. You know that expression? If you are in the business of revenge, make sure you dig 2 graves. It takes up so much energy. You don't need revenge, you need to be happy. He's happy, wish him well and decide, hey, it's my turn. Play that song by Diana Ross, It's My Turn. It's your turn now. Put your energy, think about the kind of guy you really want to be with. What qualities would he have? What would he be like? What would he love about you? And then put yourself in front of that kind of person. Go to places where men are. Go to a car wash with your car. Go to IT classes. Go to golf. Go to poker. If you put yourself in front of nice guys, knowing you absolutely deserve one, you'll find one and you'll be having your wedding up there soon. And maybe he'll look at it and think, oh, I made a mistake. Maybe he won't. That's not even important. It's important that you focus on you. He's not your person. Your person is right in front of you. Open your heart, your mind, and your eyes. Put your energy into attracting him. And remember, you're not half a person. You are not waiting for your other half, because you're not half, you're whole. You don't even need someone to complete you. When you think, I'm a good person, I've got great things to offer, I'm warm, loving, amazing, what that last person liked about me is still in me, and now I'm even better, and you can't help but find someone. You're already whole, you're already complete. Now go off and find someone, share your life, and be happy.
I certainly had a very difficult heartbreak that forced me to practice everything that I preach. I mean, there was no, that was a time when I had to put my money where my mouth was, because it was a really, really difficult time. And it was very humbling. It was a very difficult time because I was also having to continue to do my job. I was having to continue to put myself out there and help people and connect with people and give advice. And I was deeply, deeply suffering myself. So, I mean, during that time, I did everything that I would tell someone else to do. My brother Stephen, he once came up with the idea that after a breakup, there's the athlete recovery method and there's the hangover recovery method. And he said, after a hangover, people typically wake up late, they eat a bunch of greasy food, they binge watch some trashy TV, and they lay around all day, and they don't do anything that's actually good for them. They just do things that make them feel comfortable in that moment. Whereas the athlete does something very different. When the athlete gets injured, they may have injured their shoulder, but they train every other part of their body until their shoulder comes back online, until their shoulder is ready to go again. And even then, they do physio where possible on their shoulder. They still dip their toe in the water with their shoulder, but if it's out of action, they still train every other part of themselves that they can, as well as their mindset, and they eat well, and they get enough sleep, and they do all of the things that speed up recovery. And that was what I had to do for myself, was go for the athlete recovery method. My heart was wounded, was broken, and it took me time to heal that. But in the meantime, I made sure that every other part of my life, look, firstly, let's make something clear. There's the zombie phase of a breakup. I didn't escape that. There was a time when I was just a zombie and incapable of doing very much at all. But beyond that, and that's just a phase that requires an enormous amount of self-compassion and self-love, and for you to not be so hard on yourself that, oh God, I've dropped this, I've dropped the ball on that, I'm not doing that. I think that's huge self-compassion and understanding of yourself, that every day you get through is a good day. But after that, it's about training every other part of your life, whether it's your relationships with friends or family, whether it's your body, whether it's the hobbies and the passions you can lose yourself in, so that by the time your heart's ready to go again, so to speak, everything else is already firing on all cylinders. Because if you wake up a year after a breakup, having let everything go, you got more problems than a broken heart.
Hey, this is Marisa, and I see so many people who are looking for the fairy tale, who've been influenced by Disney, and they're looking for their prince or princess to walk off into the sunset and live happily ever after. And fairy tales do that. They end with, and they lived happily ever after. Like there's no work involved in building a relationship. You find someone, and when you found them, that's it. You see, fairy tales cause a lot of problems because they again overexpose us to something that is not real. We have this incorrect, actually harmful belief that you will meet your other half and they'll complete you. But you're not a half, you're a whole. And when you're a whole, you're not looking for someone to complete you, you're looking for someone to grow a relationship with. And here's the biggest problem of all, this belief that your other half will meet all your needs. Well, I'm here to tell you that simply is not true. Imagine you have needs, we all have needs. Your partner can probably meet a third of your needs very well. And another third, you need to meet them yourself. And the third, well, you might have to let them go. Imagine your need is to have a perfect home with white sofas and a white carpet and everything tied away. And you've got 3 kids who like to play football. Often you have to look at your need and think, well, you know, that need just isn't going to work. I need peace and calm. But I've got 2 babies under the age of 18 months old. Sometimes we just have completely unrealistic needs. And you have to ask yourself a question. What is more important, my need or my relationship? I need a tidy house. I love tidy. I love everything put away. It makes me feel great. I have a husband who doesn't even notice he's left all the cupboard doors open, all the kitchen cabinets open. He loves to cook. He's immensely messy. And I realize that his need is to enjoy cooking without me saying, oh, look, you got that on the floor. Why have you made so much mess? How come one tea bag has managed to stay in every surface? So I just had to give up my need to have a really tidy house and to recognize that having a happy marriage with a husband who loves cooking is actually a great gift. And in my relationship, I have to bring it back to, you know, what is more important here? Me and him are my need for order and tidiness, and he has other needs, and I know that I don't meet some of his needs. He loves to go out every night. He's super social. I actually love to chill by sitting on the sofa and watching a movie, and I love watching things like Downton Abbey and Jane Austen, which just leave him cold. And he loves watching documentaries about the history of the world and all kinds of science stuff that I don't love either, but we work it out because I understand the third. He meets some of my needs fantastically well. I'm lucky to have him. I meet some of his needs amazingly well. He's very lucky to have me, but we both understand, okay, I have to give this need up. And we both understand that other needs I need to meet. So if I had a need to have a husband go to the gym with me, go shopping with me, that's not him. In my 33 years as a therapist, I have no doubt at all that my clients who are the unhappiest are the ones who are looking for perfect. I've got a list. I want someone who is perfect. I always smile and go, okay, let's imagine you found this perfect person. What you want, what do they want? If they are perfect, don't you think they also want perfect? I recently had a rock star's ex-wife in my office, and that had all gone wrong. She had a lot of money. She said, I need another rock star, but I want one 20 years younger than me. And I went, why? She said, well, I want to be with a rock star. I said, but where do you think that's going to go? You're 20 years older than him. Don't you think you're just delaying the inevitable of having a second marriage go wrong? Don't pick someone 20 to 25 years younger than you. Pick someone that you have shared interests with. Because when you look for perfect, first of all, it doesn't exist. You will never find Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. They don't exist. And in trying to find them, you'll be dissatisfied, you'll be sad, you'll be disappointed. You know what? You'll also be lonely. All of my clients trying to be perfect and find perfect are lonely and dissatisfied, and it's so unnecessary. All you have to do is understand, hey, I'm a flawed person. I can accept I have flaws, and I'm with people who are flawed, And if I was perfect, I'd be lonely, and my flaws make me real. They make me genuine. They make me authentic. And that's a wonderful thing. I always remember one of my clients saying, when I saw my wife, she was walking down the street and her thighs were rubbing together. It was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I'm like, wow, I wish every woman fighting for a thigh gap could have heard him say that was the sexiest thing. Another of my clients said, my wife was working out, she had sweat running down her back and all around her groin. It was so erotic. I was so attracted to this girl covered in sweat with wet hair. Who would have thought that? No makeup, working out, sweating, damp hair, red face. And yet to him, that was sexy. So please don't try to be perfect. There is no fairy tale. There's real life, and real life is amazing. You know, the best thing when you know that someone loves you for you, when you're throwing up because you're sick, when you've got a cold and your eyes are red and your hair is matted, and they bring you coffee or tea and tell you they love you, then you know that's the fairy tale. Oh, you love me just the way I am, and I love you. And you'll be having a bad day, and I love you just as much, maybe even more, because your vulnerability makes me want to care for you. And I've worked with many, many models who feel, gosh, you know, I never want to disappoint someone. That isn't really me. Ava Gardner said, every man I meet thinks I'm Gilda. Sharon Stone said, every man thinks I'm Catherine from Basic Instinct. That isn't me. They are always disappointed. So many supermodels and movie stars tell me people are disappointed with me because they think I'm this role. It's not me. But imagine if you don't have to be perfect. You can be you and you're loved. Guess what you don't get? Disappointment. Guess what you don't worry about? You're disappointed in me. When you can be real, no one is disappointed in you, and that includes you. So remember, the key to a great relationship is how well the conversation goes back and forth, how good you are at recognizing each other's needs and meeting as many as you can. The key to a great relationship is, do you respect and admire each other? Do you have sexual chemistry and best friend chemistry? Nothing in there says, hey, are you perfect for your partner? Because they don't even want that. I've worked with models who are left and their partners say, oh, it was like dating a racehorse. It was just so much work. And now my next partner is just real and warm and genuine, and I didn't even want all that drama. So remember, if your relationship now is not working, don't think, well, I better stay in it because I'm looking for the fairy tale. You can always make your relationship better or leave something that really doesn't work and find a better relationship when you stop looking for something that isn't real and become the real, lovable you. You can find someone that loves you because you're you, and you love them because they're them, and then you build this beautiful, flawed relationship together, loving in each other, believing in each other, supporting each other, not having to worry about your thighs or your height or the number on your birth certificate, the number on the scale, the number in your clothing label, the number in your bank account. Those don't matter. What matters is being a real person, finding real love based on being real, and then it will last forever. Check out my next video here.
There's elements of the bad boy that in some ways are, we look for even in the good person that we end up with. You may marry a good man, but it's hot when you marry a good